Coming up on this episode of One-on-One Sports.
The NBA season is finally back, and I, for one, could not be more excited. So excited that I will host our experts in the lounge to preview the upcoming season.
And speaking of being excited, my Red Sox are in the World Series, and one of our MLB experts will tell you why they will win.
All that and so much more, and it all starts right now.
Welcome to another edition of One-on-One Sports. I'm Jake Soder.
And I'm Ryan Ballack. Josh Freeman is still a terrible quarterback, and here are your starting five.
After a 2.5-year investigation on the Miami Hurricanes and booster Nevin Shapiro, the NCAA has ruled that the U will lose 9 scholarships and former coaches will be suspended. Miami suspended itself from bowl games in 2011 and 2012, but most assumed that more bowl bans would be handed down after a lengthy ruling. Ryan, was this a fair punishment, or was it pretty much just a slap on the wrist?
I think this was pretty much just a slap on the wrist. I mean, Miami committed a pretty serious crime, and compared to what USC committed just with the Reggie Bush case alone, they got a 30 scholarship ban. Miami cheats for 10-plus years with hard evidence in front of them, and they suspend themselves for 2 years from bowls, and then they only get three scholarships over the next 3 years taken away. That's nothing.
Several players have came out and admitted that this went on for years and years. So you're right, they do have hard evidence, and 3 scholarships each year over the next 3
just in football.
Absolutely nothing. Just in football. Frank Haith, the former Miami basketball coach,
who's with Missouri
now, will be suspended, which is kind of ridiculous, but he played a part of it.
Ridiculous.
But it was a scandal that spanned over multiple sports for multiple years. So yes, they got off so easy.
They absolutely did. With increasing penalties and a focus on protecting players in the NFL from sustaining head injuries, injuries to the legs and knees have gotten little to no attention at all. With the focus on preventing big hits to the upper body, players have started aiming lower, and Randall Cobb, Brian Cushing, and Sam Bradford are just a few casualties from the past weeks because of this. Are the new targeting rules making the game actually more dangerous?
Well, here's what I know. I know that players would rather get their bell rung and get hit up high at the head than get their legs taken out from under them, because if they get hit in the head and they get a concussion, they're out for maybe a week, maybe two tops. If they get hit in the knees, like you saw with Randall Cobb and Brian Cushing, they're out for the entire season, and it may affect their career. Brian Cushing tore his LCL and broke his leg, and Randall Cobb shattered his fibula. These are serious injuries that players are going low because they can't go high, and that's why
I absolutely agree. And I think with the targeting rules, it allows the defensive players to get more creative when tackling low, and that's causing these injuries. Do I think the targeting rule itself is making the game more dangerous? I can't say that because the head injuries in the long term are clearly much more severe than the leg injuries, and that's how it's got to be.
I mean, the NFL, you can't hit up high, you can't hit down low because you're going to hurt some people. So where can you hit, really? That's the huge issue here.
Exactly.
So where can you hit?
We'll have to see that in the next coming years.
Catfish and dogfighting. Apparently that's all that's on the minds of the fans who recently voted on which NFL players they dislike the most. Mike Vick and Manti Te'o were chosen as the first and second players most disliked in the league. Vick hasn't had a single issue since his release from prison in 2009, and Te'o had a blemish-free resume other than the scandal he was involved in last season involving a girlfriend that didn't exist. Third and fourth place were Ndamukong Suh and Ben Roethlisberger, respectively, and Mark Sanchez came in 5th. Ryan, did the fans get this one wrong?
Glad to see Mark Sanchez on the list.
Yeah.
Personally, big fan of that. But where's Aaron Hernandez? What, are you kidding me?
That's a really good point.
That's amazing. And Ndamukong Suh, number 3, I was very surprised. Mike Vick, get over it, guys. I mean, he committed a bad thing, but he's done his time. He's okay now.
You see just how much of a media influence it has over this entire thing, because you see Mike Vick, media made a huge deal about that. Manti Te'o, media made a huge deal about that.
Enormous deal about it.
Roethlisberger and Ndamukong Suh, it's all things that
and then
people
the one
see
who
in the
isn't
media.
Sanchez.
Oh yeah, and Sanchez, exactly. If you're going by the players who should be most hated in the league, I think it should be guys who play the dirtiest, like James Harrison. You're Brandon Merriweather.
Oh yeah.
And Ndamukong Suh should definitely be on that list. But Mike Vick, Manti Te'o,
agreed.
I don't get it.
And I think guys like Ndamukong Suh, Brandon Merriweather after last week, they will be rising up the list in the upcoming years.
You would think.
Doc Rivers doesn't want the Clippers to be overshadowed by the Lakers while they play their home games in the Staples Centers this year. So during Clippers home games, Lakers championship banners will be covered with posters of the Clippers players. Jake, is this disrespectful to the high and holy Lakers?
Well, I think it is kind of, because the Staples Center is the house the Lakers built.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Is that what it says?
Well, The Lakers have been good for so long, and the Staples Center is their building, and it was before it was the Clippers building.
But it's still the Clippers building also.
You're right. But the banners hanging up on the ceiling, is that really taking away from what the Clippers? You can Clipper the place out, sure. Change the seats, change the court. But why do you need to change the banners that are up there?
Because it's not your team. When you're a Clippers fan and you go to a Clippers home game, you want to see all Clippers things. You want to see Clippers players retired in the rafters. You don't want to see Lakers players retired in the rafters. And yes, I guess it's disrespectful, but I'm honestly surprised when this story came out. This is the first time the Clippers have ever done this. If I was a Clippers fan, I want everything Lakers washed out of the Staples Center before I came to play.
So instead of seeing Lakers banners up there, you would like to be reminded every time you play, oh, there's no banners. No banners, nothing whatsoever. Are you kidding me?
You want your history up there, not somebody else's.
You don't have a history if you're the Clippers. That's my point. The NBA season is right around the corner, and for some reason, Carmelo Anthony is talking about opting out of his deal that he just got with the Knicks and entering free agency after this season. Ryan, brings up the question, are NBA players the least team loyal in sports?
First off, Carmelo Anthony leaves. I'm going to lock myself in a room for like a couple weeks.
I don't blame you.
Just cry. But because there's no salary cap in baseball, I think baseball players are the most loyal. Look, let's look at big names in the playoffs in the ALCS and the NLCS. We got Carlos Beltran, Mike Napoli, Shane Victorino, John Lackey, Hanley Ramirez, Carl Crawford, Adrian Gonzalez. A lot of these guys have played on multiple teams throughout their years. But just because of money, the worst teams get screwed in the end.
And it definitely happens in baseball a lot. But in the NBA, I think it is the worst because you have guys like, and we go back to this all the time, like LeBron, who grew up in Akron and played for the Cavs, and it was his hometown team.
Michael Jordan.
Left for money, just like that, and now, 3 or 4 years later, he will probably leave again if the money's right. And you have a guy like Carmelo who went to the Knicks and swore he was so happy to be on the Knicks.
There are a lot of guys in basketball.
And
Dwight
now he
Howard,
wants to be a
Darren
free agent.
Williams,
Yeah.
Joe Johnson, especially as of recently, since the whole LeBron, the Big Three thing with Miami, actually the Big Three with Kevin Garnett in Boston. Then the whole free agency, lots of people are getting less and less loyal and following the money now.
Baseball and basketball are both close. They're both sports where people chase the money, but to me, it's the NBA, the fact that they're just not loyal to one city. We have to take a short break, but coming up, Ryan heads over to the lounge for our first NBA block of the year. Don't go anywhere.